Hello everybody, this is NecroVMX. Welcome to my channel, and you are listening to Potato Cast. And this is a big update episode, and a lot of updates to talk about. Some of them good, some of them not so good. And we're going to talk about just some announcements. Just one announcement. The announcement's going to be good. And then, of course, first, of course, we're going to get your questions and comments. And I'm going to follow up on last episode's topic of Logan Paul and the current crisis at YouTube a little bit later on in the episode. So, first, let me go ahead and read your questions and comments, which I got to... By the way, I hope the audio quality is good. I had to change some things around. I actually think it might be better now. I have moved. That's completely done with. I was about to say I'm in the new place. I'm actually in the old place at my parents' house. That has gone pretty smoothly. Not sure how long this is going to be. It's just going to be, got to find another job and everything. But let's read your questions and comments. Let me sort these by time instead of top comments. What the fuck that's all about. I hate that shit. Facebook does that shit too. So the Moogle Master said, how did Christmas go for you? Dude, I answered that question quite a while ago. Still things seems to be quite rough for you. Hopefully things will get better. Now for my questions. What is your opinion on the YouTube user Sargon of Akkad? Did you ever read the Sonic comics as a kid? And so far, how do you feel about Donald Trump? Sorry if I got too political. That's fine. You don't have to worry about asking me a political question as long as you're prepared for an answer just grounded in my own personal opinions and beliefs. I'm actually going to let's try talking today. Haven't been doing this recently, guys. I got to get back into the swing of things. I'm going to answer your questions in reverse order. And you know what? The volume bar is jumping up like crazy. I'm going to lower the volume on my voice here a little bit. Okay, that should be a little better. I don't want it to peak or get crazy. Okay, so Donald Trump is an ineffective tool who wants to do all these things that he considers to be great. But I don't agree with 99% of what he wants to do. And the 1% that I agree with, which would be improving the country's infrastructure and roads, he's pretty much already waffled on that, saying that it's not in the budget anymore because of the crisis in Puerto Rico. So, and that was just a way to pass off the buck to the Puerto Ricans, because I think he had to be reminded that they're part of the country. I really think that he's trying to do something. He has this vision, but he's stymied by two things. One is that his vision is, I think, deeply flawed, and two, the fact that he's just ineffective. He's not good at what he's doing. I was reading an article about how the next president may be sort of the Democratic version of Donald Trump, that they may go too far in the opposite direction to try to sort of, like, I don't even use the word elect anymore. I want to use the word cast. They want to cast the role of a president that's going to be the polar opposite of Trump. They're going to go too far in the other direction. And that was the point that the article made. However, when I read it, I thought to myself, well, wasn't Trump a reaction to Obama, and wasn't Obama a reaction to Bush? We've been doing this for quite some time, so saying that it's going to happen again is a very safe assessment. You're not exactly Nostradamus there, Hold on a second, I got to blow into my keyboard there. There's a little schmutz in there. It's a new keyboard, and I want to keep it nice. Okay, I never read the Sonic comics at all. I was always, I liked the Sonic games on the Sega Genesis and whatnot, but I was never a fan, really. Not a fan. Just somebody who enjoyed a few of the games. And, even if you remember, because I know, Moogle Master, you've been around on my channel for quite a while now. You probably remember when I did the Sonic feature where I played, every Sonic game that I was able to play at that time. And that got me so fatigued at the end. I was so done with it. I think actually the next time after that I played a Sonic game was actually yesterday because my nephew was over here and he wanted to play on my computer, and he mentioned that he liked some of the Sonic games, so I had him play a little bit of the Genesis titles and also Sonic Advance, and I played it a little bit with him. But I'm so over Sonic and the fandom and everything about it, so, and I never read the comics. And as for your first question, Sargon of Akkad, I think he's a twit. I think he's a sensationalist idiot who manages to, you know, in his rhetoric, have all the tropes of the alt-right without actually being alt-right, which is really impressive in like the worst possible way. Nick Jackson asks, do I like martial arts movies? That's an interesting question, actually, because I never really thought about it. I don't think I've ever gone out of my way to see a martial arts movie. As a matter of fact, I remember when I think I'm very kind of repulsed by them on some weird base level. Even though there are martial arts movies that I like, there has to be some sort of hook to bring me into it, other than it just being fighting. Like Mortal Kombat, for instance, was based on a game that I really liked. Kill Bill was was directed by Quentin Tarantino, and even that, when I first saw the trailers for it, I thought, oh god, it looks bad and cheesy. But you know, I think there has to be some substance there. I think that if it's just like the movies that Bruce Lee made, or you know, they're just kind of generic to me. I do like Jackie Chan's work, especially the earlier work, like when he was first transitioning from Hong Kong to America, movies like Rumble in the Bronx, for example, because they're funny and whatnot. But I you know, it's kind of like werewolf movies where, you know, I like the concept that there are werewolf movies. If you remember the 10 Days of Werewolves that I did, there are werewolf movies that I really enjoy, like Wolf or the original The Wolf Man, or you know, but most of them just kind of, The Howling was another one, but that was a I don't know if you remember when I did 10 Days of Werewolves, or if you were around for that. You know, I originally done the Dracula feature, and then I did the Frankenstein feature, and everybody assumed that the next one was going to be werewolves, because it's like, okay, the kind of the universal pantheon, Dracula, Frankenstein, and then the next one's Wolfman. It's like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, you know, or like Captain America and Thor and Iron Man. It's like the big three. And I put that off for years, and my friend Joe would always mess with me. He does this weird werewolf voice, sounds like this, and he would say, "We're next, right, you guys? You're going to do the werewolf feature?" And I'd be like, I don't know, I think I'm going to do ghosts, or I think I'm going to do zombies, and he'd be like, "Oh, you think we're lame-os." And then when I called him up, I was like, "Yo, Joe, I'm doing the werewolves this year," and he's just like, "Oh, finally it's our turn." So, you know. I want to move on here. Stormcrow95 says, #potato on the Logan Paul thing, 100% agreement, and honestly, I'm just irked deep down that this is how we start the year. I mean, could we consider them acting for the apologists and just so much about raising awareness? Really, his apologies, if you can call them that, they reminded me of why sorry is between shit and syphilis in the dictionary with regards to the context. Contempt regarding his narcopathic fuckery aside, I resume my... Dude, I just got to pause here and just commend you on your vocabulary. And I don't do that too often on YouTube. Usually I'm calling people out for bad grammar and typos. But you got a nice vocabulary here. I appreciate reading comments like this. So, contempt regarding his narcopathic fuckery aside, I resume my extension of goodwill to you, the family, friends, and such as one of the few YouTubers with a good head on their shoulders in terms of thinking straight, rational thought, trying to maintain, etc. in these chaotic times. Well, I thank you for the kind words, especially since they were excellent words, the best words. Yeah, it's a rough start to the year when everybody's trying to cleanse themselves from the fuckcock that was 2017. I think I will officially declare 2017 the year of fuck shit. And then we start out 2018, and the first thing that happens is Logan Paul. And I am going to be talking about the fallout from that a little bit later in the episode, so stick around for that. Okay, here we have Big Ham, Ohio. Says, #potato, continued positive thoughts for your family, and I really hope that it's just scarring. Well, I do have the answer to that, which I will be also saying later in the episode. And from what you've mentioned about your dad the last few potato casts, I would imagine that is what it probably is, although I'm not a medical professional by any means. Well, thank you. There's a few comments, replies here. Manic Scarecrow says, on my question, do you believe a new company will ever join the console wars? It will always be a 3-horse race from here on out. And he said, if someone did join the console wars, it would be Apple, but I don't think... Oh, I gotta expand it. Don't think at this point they would. I don't know anyone new would join in unless one of the big three drops out. Well, here's the thing. First of all, Apple already tried consoles, the Apple Pipit, and that was at a really weird time for Apple. Steve Jobs was ousted from the company. It was before his big comeback. It was before, the iPad and iPhone and all that. Like, their big product was what was that little computer called? Shit. I think it was called iMac, actually. It was their first something. And it was a terrible, terrible failure. I don't see Apple doing that. Here's the thing. It's always kind of been a 3-person race. Right now, it's been, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and it's been Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo for quite a while. But if you think about it, Microsoft only came in after Sega had dropped off. Sony came in after Atari dropped off. It's always been kind of like, even back in like the second generation, sure, there were a lot of different consoles to choose from, but it was basically, Atari, Mattel, and Coleco. Those were the big three. It was Atari, Mattel, Coleco, and then, and then Sega came in, and it was Atari, Nintendo, and Sega, and, so it's just really, it's always been that there's room for 3 major players in the console race. And then Big Ham Ohio replied to that, saying, you never know, people once thought Sega dropped out, a new company would never accomplish what they did, and then Microsoft came around to throw its hat in the ring. Well, but here's the thing, they didn't accomplish what Sega did, they accomplished something far greater. If you think of Sega's history, the Master System was not a huge success. It did okay in Japan, it did very well in Australia, and everywhere else, nobody knew what the hell the thing was. And the Master System was like I believe the 3rd iteration of an earlier system. There was the SG-1000, and then they upgraded to SG-1000 Mark II, and then the SG-1000 Mark III, which came out, and it was like only out for a few months before they kind of recalled and rebranded it into the Master System. And then the Genesis, it was big, but they never had that success of the Genesis. Again, the Sega CD and the 32X, these add-ons that, James Rolfe called it life support. He's not wrong. I can't say that I disagree with him there. And then it was just mistake after mistake. The Saturn was a decent system that could have competed with the Sony PlayStation, the original, except they released it too early, pissed off the developers, and it was just a mess, The Dreamcast was a fine system that they made the big mistake of bragging about how unhackable it was, which, like, you tell somebody that something is unhackable, and they're just going to say, hold my beer, this sounds like a challenge. And, of course, the Sega Dreamcast was not only incredibly easy to hack, but it pretty much died, due to the hacking was part of it, but then the PlayStation 2 came out, and everybody's like, well, here's a console that is a little bit better, and then plays DVDs, and so that was a whole thing. And do you guys remember that, by the way, when if a console could play movies was a big deal? Now it's like, who fucking cares? I've always felt it was like, who cares? I have watched movies and stuff on my PlayStation 2, but that's about as far as it went. All right, here's Heisensaul. Hashtag potato. You're right. Why harm that poor porcupine? Oh, this was the one that was going to go up Logan Paul's ass, I think. Let's just take a lot of the quills and shove it up Shitstain's ass instead. Wait, was this Logan Paul? No, actually, now that I think you were talking about who was getting the porcupine up their ass. Let me think about this for a second. That was the guy that's been harassing Hitomi. I agree. Not porcupine quills though. How about like wasp stingers? They don't have the barbs, but the venom really hurts. I'm allergic to wasps, so that's like the worst thing I can think of. All right, let me get back to your comment. Let's just take a lot. Oh, I read that already. Fuck Logan Paul and fuck his dumbass 12-year-old fans, and of course McJuggernuggets would be the one guy defending this fucking man-child. McJuggernuggets is a sycophant. Anybody that's bigger than him on YouTube, he kisses ass to, and anybody that's smaller than him on YouTube, it doesn't matter to him. So there you have it. I've known one person in my life who killed themselves, and I was just friendly with that person, and it tore me up having to deal with that. Fuck Logan Paul and fuck anyone who looks like him. I like that. All right. And suicide is a rough thing to talk about. It's not funny. It's not amusing. It's there's nothing about it that's good, really. I think that for somebody to be driven to that point, I read an article that said that almost no suicides are premeditated. They're usually spur of the moment things, and I didn't believe that at first, but I read into it a little more. And there was a bridge. I forget where the bridge was. I believe it was somewhere in Europe, and it was a very popular spot for people to commit suicide. They would just simply throw themselves over the bridge. So they put up a 5-foot guardrail. Now you'd think if somebody really wants to kill themselves, a 5-foot guardrail is not going to stop them. But it did. The rate of suicides from this bridge plummeted. Because a lot of times when people are ready to kill themselves, I mean, if they're talking about it, then they're looking for help, And a lot of suicide attempts are cries for help. But the people who actually do it usually do it in the spur of the moment. Sometimes it's not even, anything that's going on that's bad. It's just sometimes it's a side effect from medication, like what happened with Chris Cornell, or it could be anything, that suddenly they get the urge to do something crazy and then they do it. And sometimes just something as simple as somebody talking to them or saying don't do it can stop them, or even something as simple as a physical barrier. I remember, listening to Howard Stern talk a guy jumping off of, I think it was the Brooklyn Bridge or maybe it was the Manhattan Bridge once. All he did was keep the guy talking, and then, pretty much he saved a life. And I always think that's a great thing to do. It's always great when you can save a life. Berserker0001 says, #potato, I have an overkill mentality, Necro. Mostly is me stringing together brutal acts of torment for this sackless wonder. Anyhow, hope the move goes smoothly. It went. I don't know about smoothly, but it went. I'm still sore. It's been several days later. But, and that's the rough thing about having to do it yourself. Who's going to do it? My sister, who's working all the time and who has 2 kids to look after. My dad, who has cancer, and my mother, who's looking after him and is tired from her own issues. I had to do it myself, so that kind of sucked. It's a big, long comment from the Game Master 8. Hey, Necro, hope your move goes okay. I have a few questions this time around. Oh, they're numbered. Okay. Number 1, what do you think about the announcement about the new Mega Man 11 game coming soon? Personally, I think it might be a good game. I'm hype on that. I saw the Mega Man 11 trailer. I do think that it's kind of a reaction to Mighty Number 9 in some ways, where we had one of the guys who had been involved, sort of not in the creation of Mega Man, but in the early games, Keiji Inafune, making his own game that looked and kind of played like Mega Man, and there was some backlash, there was some mistakes made. Personally, I still think it was not a bad game. It was an okay game. But, hold on one second. I was looking at this text message. Jesus Christ. Okay. Anyway, but it looked a certain way, and it was like, and then Mega Man 11, I'm looking at that, and I'm like, it looks like, like Mighty Number 9 having gone through more polish and a little bit more thought put into making it be the way that it's supposed to. So I'm excited. I'm glad that I'm doing 8-bit, even though I love 8-bit. The problem that I had with Mega Man 9 and 10, I thought Mega Man 9 was a great game. I thought Mega Man 10 was a great game. But I was just like, why are we so caught up in Mega Man 2? Like, why can't I slide? Why can't I charge my weapon? Each Mega Man game, they're all very similar, but they each added a little something. And it seemed like 9 and 10 were big steps backwards. And I get that it was a nostalgic thing. I understand that. But I'm glad they're doing something that looks both modern and classic, which is what Mega Man should be. Number 2, if you tried Sonic Mania, if you like the Genesis games, I think you might like it. It does look like a good game and has gotten good reviews. But as I explained earlier, I'm kind of just over Sonic. I kind of don't care. If it's bad, I don't care. If it's good, I don't care. I'm over it. Number 3, what do you think of the FCC's repeal of net neutrality? I think it was a bad move, and I'm curious to hear what you think. Okay, and then you're going to talk about Logan Paul. But let me answer this, because here's the thing. The panicking was both the correct response and the incorrect response at the same thing. Net neutrality has been repealed for a little while now, and the internet hasn't burned down. Nothing terrible has happened, but that's never the way it was going to be. It was never going to be that net neutrality rules would be repealed, and then the very next day they were going to tell you, oh, you can't access YouTube unless you pay us this, or you can't access Facebook unless you pay us this. They were saying this is theoretically what they could do, but of course they're not going to do it, because let me tell you, if the big companies like Comcast tried that, then there would be another company who said, hey, we're not assholes, we're not going to do that, and they're going to be the ones that are going to take that market share. So that's, but it's going to happen. Things like that are going to happen over a longer period of time, and they're going to happen in a more subtle way. It's sort of like that old Simpsons joke where it was one of those episodes that was in the future, and Homer and Marge are in bed watching TV, and there's all sorts of salacious noises coming from the television, and Marge turns off the TV and says something along the lines of, Fox turned into a hardcore sex channel so gradually that I barely noticed it. And it's, of course that didn't happen. It was a joke, and it was just funny because they're now owned by Disney. But, it's just hilarious when you think about it. Things can change gradually over time. I'll give you another example. My friend Joe that I mentioned, about the werewolf thing earlier, I went to his house once when he had a new kitten. I saw the kitten, and it was very cute, blah, 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 this and that, blip, blip, blip. So I came again, and it was like a year later, and the cat got really fat. And I mentioned that. I said, wow, she got really fat. And he's like, no, she didn't. And I'm like, yeah, dude, the cat got really fat. And he wasn't seeing it because he sees the cat every single day. So this gradual swelling of the feline is not something that he's going to notice because he's seeing it happen little bit by little bit by little increments. I had seen the cat, and then it wasn't a full year, but it was several months. It was the next year, but it wasn't a full year later, if you catch my drift. And to me, it was a drastic change. He did wind up putting the cat on a diet, in case you're wondering, and the cat lost weight. It wasn't so much like a very strict diet. It was just he stopped spoiling her with so much table food. But anyway, that's sort of the thing about net neutrality. You're not going to see the changes. And here's the thing, and this is where they really get you. Everybody that was for it, everybody that didn't think it was going to be a big deal, they're going to crow. They already are. And they're going to crow, and they're going to say, we were right, the internet didn't burn down, it was not the end of everything, it's not a big deal, and they're going to let what's going to happen happen. And it's going to be incredibly difficult to get those kinds of laws or protections back. And I'm not saying that they should or shouldn't exist, because I don't want to get into the net neutrality debate right now. Everybody's Facebooking me. Oh, I can't deal with that right now. Because it's not relevant, and I don't know. I'm of two minds of that anyway. But here's the thing. Everybody that was against it is saying, see, it wasn't a big deal. And the people who were thinking that everything was going to burn down and everything was going to be the terrible apocalypse that they had prophesized the very next day, and that didn't happen, and they're going to start to doubt themselves, and it's going to be very difficult to get that back. So that's my thoughts on that. Okay, long rambling ahead about Logan Paul. Feel free to skip. I don't know. I think I might read it. Concerning Logan Paul, screw him. I had heard a lot about his trip to Japan from other YouTubers, including one named Gaijin Goomba, who lived and worked there for several years, and about all the moronic things he did, with the Suicide Forest video being the cherry on top of the crappy sundae that is the whole mess. I personally think whether you're famous or just some guy working a 9-to-5 job, that you're visiting another country, you're representing your own country in some shape or form. And I want to pause right there and say that you're absolutely right. Not that you have to be the ambassador of Americans when you're traveling abroad, but you do have to realize that if you act the fool, there are people that are going to draw prejudices from that, and they're going to say, man, I always thought Americans were X, X, and Y. And Hitomi told me that, we know that Japan has a xenophilia problem. Not xenophilia, that's the opposite of what I meant to say. Xenophobia problem. We know that's real. I need a little more light in here. I'm not used to the lighting conditions here. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. So anyway, she says that, foreigners are not exactly looked upon too favorably, except in the most touristy areas of Japan. And when we have a famous, I don't want to say famous, like YouTube famous, internet celebrity, this kid, and because I know he's like 20 some odd, but he's a kid to me, goes over there and does all sorts of obnoxious things, accumulating in disrespecting the dead, something that is incredibly, incredibly taboo in Japanese culture. It doesn't reflect well on us. and all the things that they think about us are pretty much confirmed by Logan Paul's horrible behavior. So let me continue your comment here. In other words, if you visit another country, you need to keep in mind that country's laws, customs, and culture, as when you do something dumb that breaks any or all of them, it makes you more than just you look bad in the eyes of the country you're visiting, not to mention that it could carry jail time. All that said, try to keep calm. Karma has a funny way of catching up to people like him and his brother. Rambling over. Sorry about that. I don't necessarily believe in karma in the very literal sense that it is a supernatural thing that happens, but I do believe that you do reap what you sow, and the problem is, and I'm going to talk about this a little later, it's not Logan Paul that's suffering for his actions, it's everybody else on YouTube, and I'm going to get to that in a bit. Hope to hear some good news about you, your dad, and Hitomi soon, and sorry for rambling on again. Don't be sorry, your rant was absolutely correct. I'm one of the people out there that you can rant at, as long as you're not ranting, like an idiot. I'm sure it must be annoying to read all this out. Take care and keep up that positivity, Bill. Well, it wasn't annoying to read. I do enjoy your comments, and I did enjoy that one. Here's Captain N. Now, this guy can ramble a bit, but I'll try to get through it. That's another long comment. Jesus Christ, Captain N. All right. I'm trying to make the... maybe I should put my phone on. Well, no, what it is that my parents are in the other room, and I told them that I was going to be recording, and that if they needed me, they could Facebook me, and I'll pause and go in there and see what they need. But Facebook's going off like crazy because of the Pokemon Go group that I'm a part of. I'm not going out to play that. I'm well snowed in here. So let's see. Here's Captain N's comment. This is long. I understand exactly what you're getting at and coming from with this Necro. I get he was trying to basically make a suicide awareness message. No, he wasn't. That was the point that I made last episode. He was not trying to make a suicide awareness message. He was trying to make a crappy, trendy, hashtag haunted, hashtag spoopy, hashtag Akigahara, 24-hour challenge, swag YOLO fidget spinner video. That's what he was trying to make. The suicide awareness thing was tacked on. He didn't give a fuck. He just saw an opportunity to make himself look like a good guy. And I'm saddened by the fact that it worked on you, because he was not trying. He went in. My whole point that I made last episode was that Logan Paul not only went into that forest with the worst of intentions, but he went into the country of Japan with the worst of intentions. There was nothing good about what he did. There was nothing good about it. But let me read the rest of here. Let's see. The way he did it was wrong. And well, everything he did was wrong. And how he was doing it was wrong, because you were right, it is disrespectful to the person who did it, the family and friends of that person, and of course the country of Japan itself, because he treated it like it was some fucking joke, and it was just tourist attraction. Tourists are not supposed to go into that forest, and that's another thing that I touched upon. And they're definitely not supposed to record or take pictures of anything in there. It's just not allowed. He was made aware of the laws and the regulations, and he chose to break them because he doesn't care. Japan was a playground to him. As if saying, oh wow, look at this corpse here, isn't it amazing, guys? I mean, who wants to see that kind of shit? Surprisingly, a lot of people, because it did get a lot of views. And you know why YouTube didn't do shit about it when he uploaded it? It was like you said, Necro, it was because it was to bring them money, and because Logan Paul was making them money, and because he happens to be a big YouTuber to do this kind of thing and make them so much money, even if it was wrong. Okay, you're rambling now. I gotta see if there's some sort of point here. Because this is the kind of rambling that just when you repeat the same point over and over again and you're just parroting what I already said. Alright, I'm sorry, man. I got to move on to the next comment here. I can't read all that. Manic Scarecrow says, when I mention the strength of the various consoles, I do include things like the library of games for it. If you like the style of games that particular console is pushing the most, which isn't as strong a thing as it was back in the day. Examples, Super NES, platformers and RPGs, Sega Genesis, sports games, and fighting games. Do you think that, well, like I said, but I don't know what you like, so I don't like to make recommendations to other people who I don't know, and I don't know their taste, because I may make a recommendation based on what I like, and you may be like, wow, that sucked, because that's not what I like. Do you think this whole Logan Paul controversy is just a case of people making a mountain out of a molehill? No, I think it's absolutely, I think that what he did was disrespectful, and people should be outraged. And I'm going to follow up on that later in the episode. I do want to give updates on, I kind of already gave the update on myself. But let me give the announcement. Videos are coming back. Yay! It's not just going to be Potato Cast anymore. So starting on Monday, well, actually Sunday, the 21st, Sunday will be the first gameplay video. You'll get Isaac Sunday on that. Then Monday, you will get, what was I uploading? Shit, I don't even remember. Whatever RPG I've been uploading. Let me go ahead and look at where's my YouTube folder? Here it is. Okay, Let's Plays. It will be East, the Oath, and Felghana. And then on Tuesday, we will start with, I think, Mega Man 8. I still got more videos to put up for that. And we're going to continue the Let's Plays. Things are going to be uploaded. Things are going to be getting recorded again. So everything is going to kind of go back to normal. As for the stream, here's the thing. I'm going to tentatively schedule the next stream for Saturday the 27th, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. as usual. But I'm saying tentative because of the family situation, because of everything going on. If I need to be somewhere else, if I need to be with my family, then I'm not going to do the stream. I'm going to try to do it Saturday the 27th. So that's a tentative date for the next Twitch stream, which will be on twitch.tv/NegroVMX. Update on my dad. He had the biopsy on his lung, and it's not cancer in his lung. So they didn't specifically tell us that it was or wasn't scar tissue, but they did tell us it wasn't cancer. And everybody's just kind of really relieved. This means that he's eligible for surgery, which they are going to do next week. I believe next Wednesday he's going to be going in for surgery. They are going to remove half of his liver, including the entire tumor, and then they're going to screen him. First he's going to stay in the hospital for quite a while recovering, and then he's going to come home, and they're going to continue to screen him. He's going to continue to go back to Sloan Kettering, and they're going to screen him for cancer over a period of 5 years, and if he goes 5 years cancer-free, and then that's that, and that's one less thing to worry about. But, of course, surgery always is risky, so that's the next thing that we're facing right now, and we're all kind of, happy that he's going to have surgery, but at the same time, there is, of course, the thing of surgery carrying its own risks, so that's where we're at with that. Okay, Hitomi, Hitomi's a little bit caught up and a little bit not caught up on things. Here's the thing with Hitomi. Hitomi is still in California, and that's actually a real problem because she was supposed to be back in Japan by now. She was supposed to be back in Japan actually by the 10th to do a pre-interview for her job. She did miss that. Now, I think they're still taking her on, but the job starts on the 29th, and she is having to pay a lot of money to her landlord because he's raised her rent. He has charged her interest on everything she's been laid on, which has been almost everything. And we have raised donations, and we have gotten her, caught up a little bit. But the next deadline that he set is the 23rd, which is next Tuesday, and she needs more money. The amount, because I'm gonna have a link in the description. We set up a new campaign for her because GoFundMe was bullshit. GoFundMe took too many fees. It took too long for the money to go there. And here's the thing: it was going to accounts that were owned by her brother, who is being targeted by those two bitches in Kansas who have been attacking him and his whole family, trying to steal as much information and money as possible. And they're continuing to do this. So actually, a friend of mine who you guys don't know, her name is Charlotte. She set up the new fundraiser. She has become involved in Hitomi's issues, and she and my friend Andrew as well has become very involved. She set up a new fundraiser on a site called YouCaring. There will be a link in the description, and it has a definite dollar amount, and this will get her caught up on the rent and also a plane ticket home. Here's the thing that happened with that. I originally planned to get her a one-way ticket to California. And then because I figured that would be cheaper, especially since it was a last-minute ticket, in December, which is the most expensive month to buy a last-minute ticket anywhere. And then, she'd be going back in January, it would be a lot cheaper, and we'd be able to raise the money for that. However, she didn't want to go for that. Didn't want to risk being stuck in California and not being able to get back home and missing out on the job. So the problem with that is the airline neglected to tell her that if she didn't return within a certain window of time that the ticket would expire. Now, there was a set date that she was supposed to return, and they gave her the option of extending it past that. But they didn't tell her that if she extended it too far, that the ticket would expire and she would be shit out of luck. Now, basically, almost any airline would tell you that you could just put that towards, like miles or credit or something to get a one-way ticket back. But this airline, which is a smaller airline, which we went with because they were cheaper, it's called Singapore Air, they don't do that, and I don't know if that can be done. So what we're looking at right now is trying to get her back home in time to start her new job and to get her caught up on the rest of the rent. So I'm going to put a link in the description, and I please urge you, if you can donate something, please donate something. And if you cannot, that I understand that. Please share the link because it's incredibly important. We're at the point now. I hate to say this. I hate to bring this out, especially after the whole Logan Paul discussion and everything I said earlier. But we're at the point now where it's a matter of life and death. I'm really worried about her because she's been talking recently about ending it all. And I've been talking with her day in and day out, trying to keep things positive, trying to, keep her head straight. And there's some times where she's thinking very clearly, and there's sometimes where she's not. And of course I've said that. I said, I don't think you're thinking clearly. And she says to me, actually, I am. And, what do you say to that? You know how hard it is to argue with anyone, over the internet, much less somebody who's in a sensitive state and you don't want to upset. So, here's the thing. So it's my friend Charlotte is actually running the fundraiser now, not her brother. So any money that goes there is safe and can't be stolen. And it's my friend Charlotte who's taking care of all the financial stuff. So she's been really great about this. She's a wonderful person. I haven't known her that long, but I met her through Andrew. She's one of Andrew's best friends. I'm Andrew's best friend. So it's kind of like when you want to know your best friend's friends. That sounded terrible. It just sounded like a tongue twister, but there you go. That's the update on Hitomi. Now, let me, the last thing that I want to talk about, because I don't want to keep this like super, super long. I'm already at 37 minutes. I want to talk about the fallout from the Logan Paul situation, which some of you may already actually be aware of. Some of you may have gotten an email from YouTube. But I first became, sorry for the scrolling noise if you can hear that, but I first became aware of this late last night when I got a message from Hitomi saying something about people being upset with YouTube due to the fact that of an email. And she said this new email that went out. And I'm like, I don't know what she's talking about. And I looked in my email and I didn't see anything from YouTube. And I said, what email? Actually, here I found that part of the conversation. This is exactly what she said. She said, YouTube basically doesn't want smaller channels to have monetization. And I said, well, we've known that forever. And she says, yep, but they just admitted it with that new email just now. And she told me, people are upset. And I said, what email? So she said she got an email. Now Hitomi actually has two channels. She has her original channel, and then she has a second channel. And she got this email regarding her second channel. And it says, X-Razzlin, today we are announcing changes to the YouTube Partner Program, or YPP. While our goal remains to keep the YPP open to as many channels as possible, we recognize we need more safeguards in place to protect creator revenue across the YouTube ecosystem. Wait, doesn't that sound pretentious? Like they really think the YouTube ecosystem? Are you guys fucking serious? And I am so tired of them referring to YouTubers as creators. I just wanted to say that. I hate that. It sounds so pretentious. It's like if you're a teacher and you're like, what do you do for a living? I'm an educator. Shut the fuck up, you stupid pretentious knob. Okay, so it says, learn more. What's changing? Under this new eligibility requirements announced today, your YouTube channel, X-Razzlin, is no longer eligible for monetization because it doesn't meet the new threshold of 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. Now, here's the thing. On YouTube's website, on their well, the whole, like, the website that they had, not YouTube.com, but where they also made an announcement about this, and I will be reading that in a little while. They said it's 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months or 1,000 subscribers, whereas in this they're saying you need both. Some people are kind of confused because some people meet one criteria and not another. It's kind of weird. Let me continue to read it. As a result, your channel will lose access to all monetization tools and features associated with the YouTube Partner Program on February 20th, 2018, unless you surpass this threshold in the next 30 days. Accordingly, this email serves as 30-day notice that your YouTube Partner Program terms are terminated. One of YouTube's core values is to provide anyone the opportunity to earn money from a thriving channel. Creators who haven't yet reached this new threshold can continue to benefit from our Creator Academy, our Help Center, and the resources of the Creator site to grow their channels. Once your channel reaches the new threshold, it will be reviewed to make sure it adheres to our policies and guidelines, and if so, monetization will be re-enabled. Learn more of the YouTube team. So, I was like, wow, that's interesting. It sounds to me that they're going after not so much smaller channels, but ones that are not very active, that are not putting out content. So, maybe that's the case. Maybe they don't want you to put out just like one video that gets a lot of views and you just like sit back and collect revenue forever. I don't know. It sounded to me like they're going after accounts that are not active, but I wanted to hold on a second, guys. I'm just doing something real quick. Okay, we're good. Weed out inactive accounts, but I decided to look into it further. So I Googled it, and I found this site, the YouTube Creator Blog. That's what it was. It's the YouTube Creators, which I hate the whole creator thing, but whatever. YouTube-creators.googleblog.com, and this is what they wrote. And I'm going to read out the whole thing for you guys because I think it's pretty rich. It's pretty amazing. 2017 marked a tough year for many of you, with several issues affecting our community and the revenue earned from advertising through the YouTube Partner Program, or YPP. Despite those issues, more creators than... I hate this creator shit. More creators than ever are earning a living on YouTube, with the number of channels making over 6 figures, up over 40% year over year. In 2018, a major focus for everyone at YouTube is protecting our creator ecosystem and ensuring your revenue is more stable. So, here's the thing. What that says to me is they're saying that we know that there's apocalypses, there's fluctuations, and people are kind of going crazy. So if we send less money to smaller channels, then you can get more money, maybe. But here's the thing, I don't buy it for a second. So let's continue to read it. As Susan's the CEO of YouTube, by the way. As Susan mentioned in December, we're making changes to address the issues that affected our community in 2017, so we can prevent bad actors from harming the inspiring and original creators around the world who make their living on YouTube. So here's the thing. So they're referring to the people who don't have 1,000 subscribers, don't have 4,000 hours watched total in the last 12 months as bad actors. That's insulting. Okay, that is so insulting. Well, I'm going to get into it because I know some of you are thinking, but Negro, you're not a fan of monetization. You said monetization killed YouTube. You think the whole partnership program got way bloated and out of control. They're scaling it back. Don't you think this is a good thing? And I will answer that, but let me continue to read what they say. I just hate the whole thing of them saying, I hate that they're calling people creators. I hate that they're calling people bad actors. And here's the thing. This is very much a response to Logan Paul. Logan Paul is the bad actor. He's the one with millions of subscribers who put up a terrible controversial video, actually a terrible controversial series of videos, disrespecting an entire country, disrespecting an entire culture, and made a load of money off of it, and was not punished. And he's still not being punished because he's still a YouTube partner. He doesn't have any strikes. He doesn't have any community guidelines issues. He doesn't have anything bad happening to him from YouTube because he's one of their golden children. So they're saying, oh my God, we have to weed out people. And I get what they're saying. I'm going to read more of this, but I got to say my piece now. I meant to save it for the end, but I really got to say my piece. It used to be that the partnership program, you had to work towards being a partner. You had to be curated, you had to be contacted, and you had to accept it, and you had to sign all sorts of shit. And, a lot of people like myself, like Hitomi, like a lot of my friends on YouTube had to work hard to become YouTube partners, and it was an elite few, and it was sort of a reward. It was saying, hey, we're making money off of you anyway, so let's share some of that money. And then, and then it became everybody. It became so lucrative that it became everybody. It was like, as soon as your channel has 10,000 views total, we'll make you a partner. So basically everybody's a partner, whether they have one video with 10,000 views or 100 videos with 100 views, or I almost said that wrong, 100 videos with 100 views. Boom, you're a YouTube partner. And everybody thought they can make money off of it. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but let me finish reading. Okay, so here's that whole bad actors thing. That just pisses me off. Okay. A big part of the effort will be strengthening our requirements for monetization so spammers, impersonators, and other bad actors can't hurt our ecosystem or take advantage of you, while continuing to reward those who make our platform great. Here's the thing. Spammers are not the issue. Impersonators are not the issue. Bad actors, who the hell knows what they even mean by that? Logan Paul is the issue. The big YouTubers are the issue. When PewDiePie blurts out the N-word, that's the issue. When Logan Paul disrespects an entire country and entire culture and shows dead bodies, that's an issue. When McJuggernuggets exploits children, that's an issue. Those are the people who are issues. It's not, you're not weeding them out because they have millions of subscribers. So you're doing nothing, YouTube. I'm disappointed again. Back in April of 2017, we set a YPP eligibility requirement of 10,000 lifetime views. While that threshold provided more information to determine whether a channel followed our community guidelines and policies, which of course is bullshit since you can reach that without following those policies, it's been clear over the last few months that we need a higher standard. Now, I do agree there is a higher standard needed. However, kicking people off of the program is not how you do it. You just make it harder to get in. Everybody that was a YouTube partner, regardless of the fact that I think there's been way too many, a ridiculous amount of partners, everybody that should have been grandfathered in unless they broke the rules, unless they did something terrible. Logan Paul should not be eligible for monetization anymore by YouTube's own rules, but it's sort of like how Donald Trump gets away with breaking Twitter's rules all the time because they say, well, it's newsworthy. What they really mean is we're making so much money off of him. We're making so much money off of Trump that we're never going to kick him off of Twitter. So then we have somebody, Logan Paul. He's kind of like the Trump of YouTube. He really is. He's making them a ridiculous amount of money. So of course they're not going to take away monetization. They'll take away from people who barely have it, who are making like $100 a month, but they're not going to. They're not fixing anything. They're only breaking things here. All right. So here we go. On February 20th, 2018, we'll also implement this threshold across existing channels on the platform. That's a mistake. To allow for a 30-day grace period. On that date, channels with fewer than 1,000 subs or 4,000 watch hours, see now they're saying or, so there's a lot of confusion there, will no longer be able to earn money on YouTube. When they reach 1,000 subs and 4,000, so they right in the next sentence they go to and. So when they reach 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours, they will be automatically reevaluated. Notice they use the word automatically, which they did not use in the email. Automatically reevaluated under strict criteria. They do not tell you what the criteria is, but it's going to have something to do with that yellow dollar sign. It's going to have something to do with being family friendly. So they will be automatically reevaluated under strict criteria to ensure they comply with our policies. New channels will need to apply. I do agree with that. And their application will be evaluated when they hit these milestones. I agree with that. I just don't think they should be taking it away from people who already have it. I think that's wrong. Though these changes will affect a significant number of channels, 99% of those affected were making less than $100 per year in the last year, with 90% earning less than $2.50 in the last month. Why is that, though? They don't examine why people are making such shit money on YouTube, because it's become a very lopsided economy. It's become, unless you chase trends. And here's the thing, Logan Paul, I said a lot of harsh words about him, and I stand by it, but in a lot of ways, he's a stupid, ignorant kid who got caught up in a race to the bottom, basically. He got caught up in a community where you had to go edgier and edgier and edgier. Because let me tell you something, if you don't appeal to children, you're not going to grow on YouTube. It's the reason my channel hasn't grown that much in the past few years. 2014 was the last really good year I had on YouTube. After that, it was all downhill, which, I don't care. if it grows or if it doesn't. I've always said if it was 5 subscribers or it was 5 million subscribers, it's going to be the same channel. But here's the thing. Logan Paul and a lot of other YouTubers, they make a lot of money very fast. They become very popular very fast, and then they start to go with an extravagant lifestyle. They like PewDiePie buying mansions, people start buying cars, everybody starts going like, and all of a sudden they're faced with adpocalypse. All of a sudden they're faced with the fact that they can't continue to live the lifestyle that they're currently living unless they get a job or something. And they're saying, oh my God, what do I have to do to stay relevant? What do I have to do for views? And it becomes crazier and crazier and crazier until there's an actual international incident, which is what happened with Logan Paul. So that's how I feel about that. Hold on one second, guys. I got to pause for just one moment. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's see. Let's get back to the actual post here. So, like I said, the people that are making shit change are saying, oh, we're not taking much. We're taking away their $2.50 a month. But it's like you're not examining why they can't make it, because a lot of them are not conforming to the trend chasing. They're not conforming to constantly changing, constantly appealing to kids, doing fidget spinner videos, doing 24-hour challenges, eating Tide Pods, all kind of ridiculous bull crap. And if you do the same thing on YouTube, it used to be if you were steady and you did the same thing, you would grow a following, people would like you, and you would grow. Now it diminishes, everything dies. You have to consistently change what you're doing. And then it's really a minefield, because when you change everything, every change that you make might bring in new people, but you're going to lose some old people, and they're going to be people who are going to call you an asshole and tell you you've sold out and everything. That's why I don't get involved in any of this shit. Any of the channels who no longer meet this threshold will be paid what they've already earned based off of our AdSense policies. After thoughtful consideration, we believe these are necessary compromises to protect our community. It doesn't protect the community. It doesn't. Getting rid of people like Logan Paul would be protecting the community. Protecting the community would be holding Logan Paul or PewDiePie or anybody that's big to the same standard of behavior that you hold a channel with only 100 subscribers to. Because let me tell you, if it was Joe Blow from Wichita, who had 3 subscribers, did this, first of all, it wouldn't have been curated into it by YouTube, by a person, not an algorithm, into a trending video. It would have been deleted. They would have definitely gotten a community guideline strike, and they probably would have had their account terminated, because even though there's a strike system, if you do something really, really terrible, they can terminate you just for one thing if it's something really bad. And this was something really bad. And the fact that they don't hold Logan Paul to that standard, but they want to hold other people to that standard, tells me that they're not about protecting the community. Of course, size alone is not enough to determine whether a channel is suitable for monetization, so we'll continue to use signals like community strikes, spam, and other abuse flags to ensure we're protecting our creator community from bad actors. And I want to cut in here and say, once again, that doesn't address the situation with Logan Paul. That doesn't address the issues that we had in 2017 and the issue that we had coming right out the gate in 2018. We're not in danger from bad actors. We're in danger from YouTube itself becoming too monolithic and people treating it in the wrong sense. And I'm going to get to that when I read the comments on this. As we continue to protect our platform from abuse, we want to remind you all to follow YouTube's community guidelines, monetization basics and policies, terms of service, okay, blah, 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 blah. While this change will tackle the potential abuse of a large but disparate group of smaller channels, like they're literally calling smaller channels potential abuse. We also know that the bad action of a single large channel, this is Logan Paul definitely, can also have an impact on the community and how advertisers view YouTube. We'll be working to schedule conversations with our creators in the months ahead so we can hear your thoughts and ideas and what more we can do to tackle that challenge. Here's the thing, the people that they're going to talk to are the problem. The people that they're going to talk to are the ones who are already millionaires from YouTube and will do whatever they can to maintain that status. And that's why you see the biggest YouTubers all saying, yes, this is fair and I don't see a problem with it. They don't see a problem with it because it's not affecting them. Yes, I think the standard for YouTube partnership should be a lot higher than just 10,000 views lifetime. You should have to work for it, and it should be an honor to get it. Giving it out to almost everyone was a mistake. But they already made that mistake, and taking it away to people who didn't do anything wrong is not right, while letting people who did a lot of things wrong keep it is just mind-boggling to me. One of YouTube's core values is to provide anyone the opportunity to earn money from a thriving channel, and while they're just repeating the same thing here, and while our policies will evolve over time, our commitment to that value remains. Those of you who want more details around this change or haven't yet reached this new 4,000 hour, 1,000 subscriber threshold can continue to benefit from our... Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to cut it off there because there's not much left, and they're just kind of repeating themselves, and they kind of jerk themselves off in the last paragraph. But here's the thing about that. Because a lot of people are focusing on one thing and one thing only, which is monetization. The YouTube partnership program is a lot more than monetization. Now, here's the thing. I haven't lost partnership. I'm still a YouTube partner because I do have more than 1,000 subscribers. I have something like almost 17,000. It fluctuates a lot. Sometimes it's at 17,000. Sometimes it's less. But here's the thing. I know if I had 4,000 hours worth of views in the last 12 months. I don't look at the analytics because the analytics screen on YouTube is a fucking nightmarish, Kafkaesque pile of duty. I hate it. And I didn't get the email, so I'm not affected by it. If I was affected by this, let me tell you something. Because when I first heard about this, I said, you know what? If they told me, no, you can't make money off of YouTube anymore, would I stop doing YouTube? No, of course not. Now, I look through the comments on this, and I see so many people are saying, this is going to kill my channel. I can't do YouTube anymore. You know, I'm just going to see if I can find any comments here. Let's see. A lot of people in here are just begging for subs. They're like, we can help each other. Let's do a sub-for-sub program. I always hated that sub-for-sub shit. We're going to help each other out. All the smaller channels will subscribe to each other. Yeah, but this is the 4,000 hour thing. You got to watch the videos, too. So a lot of people are just plugging their channels here, but I'm trying to find... oh, God, there were a lot of good comments when I looked at this last night, but now I'm looking at it, and it's all people asking for subs. Good Lord, where are all the good comments? Not good comments, but comments that I wanted to comment on. Let's see, sub for sub, 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 sub for sub. Show more. Come on, give me more. Show more. Subscribe. See, feel sad. So many small creators go. I hate this creator shit. Going to a tough phase. Let's sub for sub. Sub for sub. Small channels unite. Sub for sub. Sub for sub. Oh my God. Smash the like button. Sub for sub. I make these kinds of videos. Subscribe to me. Small channels need to stick together. Blah blah blah. Oh my God. I can't find any. Okay, well, basically what a lot of people were saying is, if I can't make money, then why should I do YouTube? Hey, YouTube started in 2005, okay? The partnership program didn't come out until, like, I think 2012 or 2013, somewhere around there. So it existed for a long time before the YouTube partnership program. People used to do YouTube for fun. Why can't you still make your videos just because you're not going to make a living off of it? You never should have been making a living off of it. That's just found money. That's the way I consider it. I can't find any comments that are not sub for sub now. Last night, there was a few of them peppered in with a lot of people. Hell, well, here's a good comment. Holy cow, just because a channel is small doesn't mean that it's a problem actor. In fact, bad channels tend to grow faster, don't they? Yes, now look at Logan Paul. It's the channels that are putting out mediocre content and or have not been fully discovered by their audience yet as to why they haven't grown. Some channels plug along for years with the hopes of finally finding their audience and getting sizable revenue. Or maybe they just enjoy doing it. That's what I say. They're not bad actors, but you are now making them get that much more discouraged and are probably going to lose many more good actors / creators. So, yeah. A lot of people are like, I'm a creator with only 200 subscribers and I can't make any money. Well, first of all, if you had 200 subscribers, you weren't making anything anyway, okay? I have 17,000 subscribers and I don't make dick, okay? So don't give me that shit. But I do agree that what they're doing is completely misguided, completely insulting, and completely bullshit. And everybody that was a partner should have been grandfathered in unless they broke the rules. And I do feel like I'm, like kind of repeating myself over and over again. But I did want to read some of these comments, but almost all of them are just Like, oh, well, you sub to me, we need to help each other, you know. Like this one, Cameron Bodkin, I need to pay for rent, please sub. Let me look at his channel because he links to it. He has 573 subscribers. You are not paying rent with that. Okay? That's bullshit. And he has 18,000 lifetime views in a channel that's joined in 2013. Now, all right, let me go over to my channel. I think I need to compare and contrast here because this is so stupid. This is so dumb. Let me look. Okay, so I have, where's my subscriber count? I can't find it on mine. Oh, there it is, 16,885 subscribers, 15.4 million views, lifetime since 2009. It says 2006, but I didn't upload videos to 2009. And I don't make rent money with YouTube. So if you have, 500 subs, you're not making rent money anyway. So I don't see how you can say that. And you're saying, well, maybe his videos went viral and he got a shitload of views. Well, okay, let's look at this guy's videos. Let's see, what does he got? Let's see. He's doing React channel. He's definitely talking about Logan Paul. Let's see, 55 views, 59 views, 43 views. I have videos that may have these kinds of views. I'm not making rent money, so you're definitely not making rent money. So that's just kind of like, when did YouTube become a career? It never should have become a career. Revenue sharing is great. Okay? Getting a little money to do what you love is a great thing, but it spiraled out of control, and it never should have gotten as big as it did or as bad as it did. And if if you're new to the channel, if you don't know my whole stance on it, I did do a potato cast called How YouTube Killed How Monetization Killed YouTube. Just type that into the search bar, How Monetization Killed YouTube, maybe throw my name in there, and it'll come up and you can hear my full thoughts on why monetization was a bad idea to begin with, or not a bad idea, but a good idea implemented incredibly badly, because now we're in a situation where people think if they're not going to make money, then they're not going to do YouTube. And that to me is so sad, because it should be a passion. It should be a passion. It should be something that you want, or it should be fun. It should be something that you're sharing with your friends and your families. YouTube's slogan used to be broadcast yourself. Now it's well, I don't know if it has an actual slogan, but now the slogan very well should have been, or should be now, follow trends. And that to me is a shame. So that's where I'm going to wrap it up. I mean, this is the fallout of Logan Paul. Oh, actually, wait, there was one big point that I didn't get to. I was about to get to it, and then I got sidetracked. So if they told me, you can't make money off of YouTube anymore, I'd be like, all right, so what's changed? You know what I mean? But here's the thing. There's so much more to YouTube. I would not be able to upload videos longer than 15 minutes any longer. Now, most of my Let's Play videos are either 20 minutes or 30 minutes long, depending on kind of like what I'm doing with that. And sometimes they go longer. List Critics is at least 2 hours most of the time, sometimes 3-4 hours. I do longer. This video is over an hour long. I would not be able to do Potato Cast. I would not be able to do List Critics. And the Let's Plays would be much shorter. And to me, that makes the content worse. You're going to take away basically almost everything that I do. So I don't care about the money. I really don't give a shit about the money, and I never had. But if they took it away from me, I don't know what the hell. I'd have to go back to, doing 15-minute videos, and you wouldn't be able to hear my things. Potato Cast would not be a thing. Okay? List Critics and List Critics 2 would not be a thing. It's just insane to think about that. And what it really comes down to is the longer videos take up more space on YouTube servers and more bandwidth. And they don't want to use their funds to host longer videos that aren't making them money. And that's what it really comes down to. It's not bad actors. It all comes down to money. And I'm not saying that it should have, that's a bad thing, because YouTube is a business. It exists to perpetuate itself, as all businesses do. And the only way it perpetuates itself is with a consistent profit. So they do need to think about the bottom line. However, not at the expense of the hand that feeds them, because I can tell you, if people get fed up, YouTube will dwindle and something else will replace it. I don't see that happening soon, but it could happen in the future. So that's going to be it for the show this week, guys. I'm going to try to do these more regularly. Not necessarily promising every week, but I do want to give you guys updates on what's going on in my life and my thoughts on things. Please leave me some questions and comments, and let me know if any of you have gotten the letters. Like, by the way, my good friend Peyton, Hunter P. Brown, got the letter. He's not going to be a YouTube partner any longer unless he gets, you know, his views. And I don't even know how many I'm subscribed to him. But let me go over to his channel. Let's see, it's Hunter P. Brown, right? Hunter P. Brown. Let's go over to his channel and see where he stands in terms of subscribers. He has over 1,000 subscribers. He's got 1,276 subscribers. So it was definitely the views on his. Now he has 399,141 lifetime views. That's since he joined 2007. But looking at his videos, I mean, you know, they don't get any views. Like, he has one that he put out that you know, has over 600 views. But like, I'm looking at these, like, he's playing Metal Gear Solid 4. I'm looking at this: 16 views, 11 views, 7 views. That is crazy. How could Part 8 have 10 views, Part 9 has 7 views, and then Part 10 has 17 views? Don't you guys watch things in order? That's just crazy. So, like, Peyton's hurting right now. You know, he may lose his ability to upload longer videos. I don't think he cares about the money, because I know he doesn't make shit off of YouTube, but his Let's Play videos are long. He does 30, 40-minute videos. He puts a lot of work, and a lot more work than I do, into his videos. Like his Final Fantasy VI with voice acting in it, which, by the way, I played a character in that. Amazingly cool, ambitious idea. And you know, he had, you know, when he played Metal Gear Solid 2, some of his videos are up to an hour long. He played Breath of the Wild. He had, look, one of these is an hour and 46 minutes. You know, and it's like, he's not a bad actor. He's a good guy who makes content, hasn't really been discovered, you know, hasn't really had a lot of success in terms of views, but they want to take away his ability to upload longer videos, and I'm sure he didn't give a fuck about. He would probably do. I know he's going to do his channel no matter what, you know. But I'm going to look. What is his most popular video? His most popular video is, it's a Maple Story video with 36,000 views. That's pretty impressive. All his Maple Story content has good views. Anything else he does doesn't, it seems. So it's like, so now what does he have to do? Just exclusively do Maple Story content and not do anything else, just to keep his ability to upload the longer videos, to use the editors, to use the tools that partners are afforded, the better uploader? Yeah, we have a better uploader. So leave me some questions and comments. Let me know if any of you got the letter and your thoughts on it, and how you think this is going to go. VMX out.